I'm not a fan of the orange, but I like the black rims. Free of charge as well. Quality, can't beat that. Shiny. Do you want to know the reason why the box is up here? Got a wee party of cows following me this morning. Morning, Holly. What a beast. Big breakdown. Is the drill working there? Right, good morning. As you can see, cows are wiring in. They don't get much barley feed, it's just kind of to get the minerals into them. They've come up a wee bit in the body condition and they're not far off where they need to be, so I've just eased off a bit. Right, I'm in the John Deere just now. I need to get out the sheds, so I'm going to see if I can figure out how to do it with all these buttons. There's a few anyway. Anyway, we're off. Plug's coming off, I'm going to put a trailer on it. Quick release on this as well. One leg. Same as the class, it's got the wee quick release levers. I'll do it like that. Right, I'm trying to get the stone grape off. I'm on the front hitch here. And it's locked, as you can see. So I thought, well, this lock button was on. So I unlocked it, that's for the joystick here, which is meant to just drop it, but it doesn't. So it's locked, I need to unlock it. Oh, this is so annoying. There's a lock for the rear hitch, but I don't see a lock for the front hitch, other than that lock, which isn't actually for the front hitch, it's for the joystick in general. Let's unlock that. Right, I got it sorted out. Well, kept it. Basically there's a, when you start it up, for health and safety probably, there's a hitch position that you have to activate before you can actually use it all, and I just pressed X. Trailer's yoked up and the air tank on the trailer's obviously just filling up. So while that's filling up, I'm just playing around with a few settings and things on the screen, getting my way about it, getting all the lights. It's quite good, you can just set it up so you've click one button and all your lights come on, or whatever lights you want on come on. You can flick between settings. It's all fairly intuitive in the screen as well. It's quite good, there's an information bit here. So you click on that and that basically takes to your manual instead of getting the whole book out and finding lights and whatnot. You just go to whatever section you're stuck on and you press the information tab at the top. It's quite handy. Certainly looks the part. Shiny. Right, trailer on to pick up barley, but plans have slightly changed. I'll explain them in a minute. But I need to go and shift this bucket onto my granny's house so a gardener can put rubbish away and we can deal with it. That's the bucket gone. Fields are pretty dry for this time of year. I mean, we're getting on with the ploughing, so it's probably only 100. Well, there's a few intricts to do, so I've got 150, 160 acre to do. But we'll get through it. When I say we, I mean Kevin Dunk. Not Dunk anymore. Dunk's retired as of Friday. Off to spend the rest of his days on the golf course. He'll be back at harvesting. We'll see him then. Speaking of that, Dave, who watches the videos, he used to work on the farm here for a lot of years. He signed me up to take me to a ploughing match, so I think that was a bad idea. I'm gonna go. Needing some of these hen pecking blocks down the hens, so take these down. There we go, left shed, right shed. Creef Perth. Creef Perth. Hens, so we've got two sheds, both hold 2,300 hens. You'll see more coming up soon because there's a lot of them. There's one shed due to go out soon, so you'll see a bit more of the hens, or a bit more of the sheds anyway. Once we get around to that, that'll be coming up soon. We need to clean them all out. There it is, some colour. Right, we had a spin round it, what's that, 154, 154 horsepower, so it's a bit smaller than we're needing, but it'll get us a idea of the cab and whatnot. It's basically the exact same tractor, it's just got a bigger engine. Chassis is all the same, cab's the same, so he's just coming around there now with it. It's got 8 hours on it in total. The colour is phenomenal. Anyway, we've had a wee tour of it. I'm just getting it yoked up to the plough, and then Kev's going to go out and plough with it. I'm going to go along the road with that John Deere, and then we'll have a swap tomorrow. John Deere will disappear, and he'll put that on a trailer. Right, it'll seem like I've done nothing today. It's 1 o'clock already. Kev's out there with the Kubota. The Kubota looks like a Kubota because it's orange. It's a Valtra, but it's orange. Anyway, just away along the road with the John Deere. Finally, Nick popped out. Thanks, Nick, for popping out. He watches the videos of Farm from down south, and he dropped in a big old bag of Simba Express points, because they don't have the Simba Express anymore and they've got a load of points. Thank you very much for that. Free of charge as well. Quality, can't beat that. So sorting them out with hopefully a cup of tea and a cake in the shop. So cheers, Nick. He was a big fan of the John Deeres rather than the blue machines, so arm and a leg for them. Right, finally getting a wee spin in this John Deere. I've hardly been in it actually. Right, anyway, we're off. Thanks, Nick, for coming out. Let the air brakes stop off, but no, it's always find it really good talking to other farmers that are open to kind of telling you what they did wrong growing up or mistakes they made or whatever, because it's good to learn that way rather than having to make it all yourself, but you have to do that as well. So he suggested a few things which are quite good actually. There's one I won't mention, but I will make that change, Nick. Right, we're off. Get the beacon on. Where's the beacon? There's the beacon. So with the Stewart trailer here, if you put the lights to just side lights, it puts the flasher on the back of the trailer. Just getting in this yard without wrecking anything. Nick's currently in the shop there, hopefully having a free cup of tea. I just much prefer coming out of the junction with a clutch. I feel like I've got a lot more control. I'll take a bit to get used to varial gearbox if we have to go to one, just because I've never driven one before. The seat feels like it moves side to side when you go around the corner. I've got something loose. Just me. Swing it that way. Whoa. The seat moves left and right when you go around the corner. A weird feeling, but it's actually quite nice. Right, so it's sitting right now at 52k, so that'll be its kind of max speed. I need to drop in to get a tear weight because I need to weigh the load of barley I'm bringing back. This is meant to have kind of active suspension, so there's I can't remember if there's 1 or 2 rams at the front end, but they're actively altering the system when it feels a bump. And then the cab's also got active rams on it, so they take data from the front end, send it to the cab, so it can add a bit of damping when you're over a bump or something. When it feels at the front end, it'll sort itself out at the cab here. It is fairly nice on the road. I would say Claas has a slight edge in the comfort. This has got electric and heated wing mirrors. Personally, we will not go for that option. We can manage to survive without that. I don't know what the deal is with this radio. I'm not figuring it out yet, whether it's got Bluetooth, surely. It should be a legal requirement now, I think, for tractors to have Bluetooth fitted. Nice on the brakes. Not really instant grind to a halt, it's just as you need it. I'm trying to think of things I don't like about it. The main thing will be the price. Got my weight, 13,920 with the trailer. That's fractionally heavier, I think, than the New Hollands with a trailer on, but much the same. Over the road to the yard up the hill, yard number 2. It's good. I couldn't tell you what the name of the system is, but it sorts the revs out itself. The likes of when you're ploughing and you hit your spool to flip the plough, it knows that's going to happen, so it ups the revs, but it keeps you at the constant speed that you're wanting to be at. Sorts all that out, and as soon as the spools are done with, it drops the revs back down again, and it does that kind of for all the operations. It knows when it needs extra power and it sorts itself out. There's that many options and there's that many different tractors, we've just lost it all. That many different gearboxes for all of them. They've all got different names. There's that many different armrest systems for all of them. They've got all different names. I'm not a big tractor nerd. If it works and does the job and is a nice place to be, that's what matters. The seats, Dunk pointed this out, the seats in such an awkward position. Such a narrow gap here and over here. And it folds the wrong way. Fold up the way. Why doesn't it fold up the way? Premium must mean bells and whistles. They're all different as well, the packages you get. The max, the premium, the dog's. Right, malting barley. Going in there. Malting barley's coming back along the road because the shed's fine, but we're going to be storing that malting barley for a while. Because it's going to someone nearby. Anyway, so it'll be there for a while, so we're just going to take it home to the shed at home. We know it's completely fine there. And there's barley disappearing from there, some spring seed barley. It's disappearing on Monday, so we've got the space. Big lag's after some grub. Get out of the way. There you go. So this is the worst bucket known to man. It doesn't grab back enough, just the way it's shaped, and it's tiny. It takes ages. Right, I'm timing it at the moment. I'm almost halfway. I'll probably be, actually fractionally beyond halfway filling up this trailer. I've only taken one phone call. And it's 13 minutes so far. I really should just crack the welder out and get it sorted, but I never have. Random person walking through the yard. Final bucket, that's 20 minutes. I could almost do 2 Arctic lorries at home. And this is only, there'll probably be half an Arctic on here. Interesting to see what it's like with a load of barley in it. Right, just fed and bedded the oinkers. I better clean my boots from the grass here before I get in that nice shiny John Deere. I'll be stinking otherwise. Not done a cab tour yet, I'll do one in a second. They're all the same, aren't they? This button does this, there's some spools. It's got a steering wheel, it's got a screen. It feels on par, power-wise. It's not more powerful anyway than the New Hollands, but they are classed as, what is it, 165 boosted to 210, or 175 boosted to 210, something like that. And this is 155, but they take their power differently. So like New Holland's off the crank or something, and this is after some more auxiliary outputs are taken off of it. So it's hard to compare without just driving it and seeing how it feels. The dealer's just been out of it. I had a couple of questions to ask him, but I was saying I don't like the seat, the wee gap, but that's been an absolute plonker. You just fold it up. It's just a wee bit stiff. But I'm used to chairs that only one bit folds on it, and this bit folded, so it's like the bottom bit doesn't fold. Right, 30 second, last time it was a 30-second cab tour, it turned out to be 2 minutes. 2 minute cab tour. Steering wheel. Dash is on the column there, so it moves with it. Your shuttle, so forwards, backwards, parking, neutral. Lights are here, indicators, but that's self-explanatory. So this is your kind of main arm. There's one spec above this which is command, auto, I don't know. Command, auto, command, something like that. It's just basically got all your buttons here, programmable buttons onto that stick. This is for your front linkage. You can also program these buttons to do what you want. Screen, fairly quick and responsive screen. You can kind of screen, it's got loads of different settings and whatnot. It'll obviously take time to get used to, but there's a lot you can do with it. It's quite responsive as well, there's no real delay in it. Good screen. All your kind of controls and whatnot, spool valves, PTO, radio controls and lights. There's your link arms on the back, your position of them, you can lock them off, you can set position, tells you here what you've just done, so I've disengaged or engaged the locking. Rev controller here, GPS steering there, it's got GPS on it, this tractor, we would be going GPS, 4-wheel drive and diff lock. You've got lever for the hitch, in and out for the hydraulic hitch, electronics. You've got 2 USB plugs. There's a free iPhone cable, although I've just put it on video, better not nick it. The rail, I like the rail. so you can attach attachments onto this and just slide it wherever you want, which is good because you're not always using all the things that are here, so you just slide them up and out the way to there or down there, and you can get in good vision, which good, I like that. Radio controls, this has actually got heated mirrors and all that. Wouldn't spec that, don't need that. Sunroof up here opens, actually don't hear any more noise when that's open. Tried it when we were ploughing, no different. Cab's really quiet. Decent view all round. We wouldn't have this sun visor, this is more for people with loaders. There's no fridge in this one actually, just a cubby box, no fridge. And that's pretty much it. It is relatively simple, it is clearly well built. You can see where the difference in price comes from. Overall, there's a lot of options on the screen. You can link to your phone, you can do all this, that and the other. You can tell where the price point comes from. Leaves the lights on at the end of the day when you get out and it's pitch black. And then they'll turn off themselves. Means you don't walk into a wall. Right, the Valtra. Kev's been ploughing in it for a bit, so we'll snip out just now, see how he's getting on in it. You can get a lot of colours in Valtra, that's what they say. There's 7 or 8 standard colours and then there's like 30 on the top spec version you can choose from. I'm not a fan of the orange, but I like the black rims. Right, we can't get the plough to lift. I've given the dealer a phone, can't get hold of him. 4 Dreekies, can't get hold of him, it's 10 to 4. It's locked. It's locked in whatever position it is. We can't lift it up or down. We've tried all the different options and not making any progress. Looks like it might end up in the field for the night. We got it going eventually, but to be fair, it was just you double click a button. We obviously didn't know about it, or we'd forgotten that he told us, so it was easy enough. So far, comfy tractor. The front end's got double shock absorbers on it, and it's like a weird pivot mount as well, so that is very comfy tractor to be in as well. Straight away, kind of the armrest position, you never find like most tractors you go into, sit down, put your arm down, and it just finds a position because it's designed for an arm, and your hand just sits wherever it sits because that's the way it's designed. Whereas that, you don't find a comfortable spot, I don't think. Lights have just gone in the big shed. Brilliant. I was just going to go and shift the John Deere over there out the shed because he's coming tomorrow to pick it up. God, shed lights, they're on, they're not even fused. They're going again, but the trip wasn't tripped. But flicked it back and forwards and we have light. Do you want to know the reason why the box is up here? That big heavy wire had to be measured, and each time round the beam wasn't taken into account, so we lost a wee bit at each of the beams, so that's why it doesn't carry on along there and down to right there. It's up here kind of in the middle of nowhere, but also means you can't wipe out with a forklift. It's not that much of a big deal. That's a bit soft. Slow puncture or something on that. We need to get that squared up. Need to get it. This goes away tomorrow, so I'm filling up with diesel again. Be a bit sad when it goes. Might never see one again. Cheers for watching.